Hey guys, this is the review of the Gundam Mark III from the Reborn 100 line. First of all, I'd like to say this kit was a blast to build. It was not as complex as a AMG, but it's definitely more like a HG in terms of engineering and all the features and gimmicks. First of all, let's cover what's in the kit. Besides the mobile suit, they give you the beam rifle, which is a very long one. As you can see, very long beam rifle, and a shield. And the shield attaches using this latch over here, as you can see there. This latch goes into this pack inside here, just like you see in many shields nowadays. And then you have a couple of ammo that's mounted on the shields, which go onto the beam rifle. And there's two parts, one on top and one below here. Another gimmick they came up with is the beam saber handle storage. It's stored on the shield, which is a nice touch. And as usual, they give you two beam saber effect parts, which is quite standard of Bandai. And unlike most mobile suits, it's stored in the shield instead of the back of the Gundam. You can put in the beam saber effect parts inside this hole over here, just like any other beam sabers. Now I'll go about the backpack right now. So this is the backpack of the Gundam Mark III, which is secured by two pegs and some poly caps in the holes. And they are quite loose, so be careful when you're handling them, you might break them. The backpack, I think it's one of the more defining features of Gundam Mark III because of how long and sleek it looks. And there are two cannons over here, which are pretty neat looking. These parts, they fold up and down. Same goes to the bottom part. Then you attach them like this, and these cannons can come down to be sort of like a kind of like over the arm kind of cannons that you can use to pose, and it's quite neat looking. These shoulder pads here, they kind of move too. They are operated by a hinge. The shoulders move up and down like this. Now the hands don't twist. It can only bend maybe about 90 degrees if you're holding the gun, and a bit more when you're not holding anything. See the skirt, it only moves up and down like that. Not much articulation over here. Same goes for front skirts. Can't move sideways too much. Can only go up and down. Same goes to the side skirts, can't move too much. The legs can go up like this without the skirt falling off, unlike most MGs I've seen. And the legs can do a very good bend. This ankle armor over here, it just moves up and down like this. The feet, they don't have a whole lot of movement. They're operated by a poly cap over there. They move left and right, and forward and backwards. The back thrusters, which is a nice touch, and it moves up and down. Oh yeah, there's another front part that actually moves up and down too. And that's pretty much it for the legs. This Gundam can rotate quite well and has a bit of waist articulation, which is quite amazing for the amount of parts that this Gundam came with. The hands, it's not the finger movable types, it's more of a static kind, as is seen in most of the older MGs and the HG kits. Speaking about hands, they give you quite a few. So as you can see, there's open palm kind and a closed fist kind, and a different grip of the hands. Only that one kind of hand can actually hold a beam rifle right. I'm gonna just use that maybe forever. And the arms, they're actually very loose. As for the arms, they can move all the way up here. And as for the stickers, I did not put in everything because some stickers look really hideous, especially these yellow ones, which are supposed to go onto the shoulders over here. I'd rather paint that if I have the time to do so. Until then, stay like that. Now these are the foil stickers. Just take a look. I used for the eyes, for the camera, and that's pretty much it. And they also gave another small decal sheet to apply onto your mobile suit, which is a nice touch by Bandai. A pity that it's not dry transfers or water slides, but I mean, you're paying like so little for a 1/100 suit, which looks pretty cool, and has quite a bit of gimmicks along with it, so you know, you can't expect too much sometimes. Now this kit comes with a lot of leftover parts. First, it's the hands that I've already mentioned. And then the polycaps. This kit uses a whole lot of polycaps, as you can see. These are leftover ones that you get after a build. Then you get an additional thruster, a big one and a small one left over. And you'll get, of course, another knuckle that's left over. No, I don't know if it's just me, but the plastic on this kit is extremely soft. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's like it's a new kind of plastic that Bandai has made. Because they use this kind of new plastic, I presume, you know, the kit just looks quite clean. You know, I didn't even use sanding in this kit at all, and it still looks very good. I'm very surprised, and I hope that they include this kind of plastic, if there is such a plastic in the first place, or if it's just me. And if they could include this in all of their kits in the future, I think that would be very nice. And another thing I need to point out is, despite this kit being relatively cheap and all, there are undergates, which is also another nice touch by Bandai. And as per usual, who doesn't like undergates? But the bad thing is that not all parts are undergates, so some knobs are still going to be quite visible, like some of the parts over here. I'm not sure if you can see them, but there's some knobs that you might have to sand a bit more, or use putty to fill it up, or you can just paint it over like me, which I'm gonna do eventually with this kit. Now I think I've pretty much covered most of the mobile suit. Now let's take a look at the manual, and I'm gonna point out some of the things that you need to take note. So when you first get the Gundam Mark III, you'll be astonished at how nice looking the box is. Now onto the manual. First, in the first page, they'll show you the box art and the front and back of the mobile suit. Some Japanese words. If you can read those, then you can pause the video now and read it if you want to. And a big Bandai logo. First, they'll give you the runners to look at, so you can compare if you have any missing runners, and if you do have missing runners, then good luck to you, mate. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runners with 1 polycap runner and the beam saber effect parts. Another thing that I don't really see in Bandai kits, but I actually seen it for the first time, it's these steps. So you have step 1 the upper body, step 2 lower body, and step 3 the weapons, which is actually the order of the build that's in this instruction manual. Now first of all, look at the body unit. It's not a complete unit, as in this is like a full-blown kind of image of the body, which is a nice touch. And they'll tell you about the undergates. And in case you didn't know what's undergates, it's these plastic things over here that you can snip off, so you can't really spot the nub marks that easily. And they'll tell the runners that are used for the construction of the body unit and for the other units as well. And it took me 2 hours to finish this kit. This kit was relatively simple. There aren't really difficult parts that I have faced. So I'll recommend this kit to anyone who's building Gunpla for the first time. As you can see, the instructions aren't that complex, and there's not much pages. And then And as per usual, they give you decal applying instructions. And they also give you some art to look at, detailing some of the gimmicks, painting, color guide. And that's it for this manual. Now this kit, well, in terms of engineering, it's not that great, but if you just want a nice, solid little kit to build, this is it. It looks very cool. Oh, as I mentioned, this kit doesn't have very good color separation, so you might need to paint to make it nicer. I'll recommend anyone to buy this suit because it's a great build and it's cheap. Of course, it's more expensive than the older MGs, but I mean, the engineering, it's pretty much like OMG. And comparing it to the GP03 Stamen, this is a much taller suit. And for info, the Stamen, it's pretty much a standard MG sized Gundam. And now that wraps up my review for the Gundam Mark III. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. And any comments, I'll try to reply them and try to keep it clean, guys.